Welcome back to Day's Headlines, and with it, welcome back to Leicester, where we pick up again on the former Great Central Railway route, where we left off, well, quite a while ago actually. Becoming a bad habit of mine, that, isn't it? We're going to start once more with this set of two lovely bridges I've been talking to you standing on. This one was what carried the Great Central passenger line through to Leicester Central, which you should remember from before. And over the other side here, the one which I could not stand on now, where all these beautiful brick houses are everywhere you look, once existed Leicester Central Goods Yard. We're going to get a better angle at the second bridge around this side, I think. So we're going to go around the corner in a minute. And in fact, you have both of them, not just the one. Now, behind all the trees there, just in front as well, was a third bridge, which carried an additional track or two into the yard. The immense site was owned by the brothers Frank and Vic Berry, with their respective scrapyards. Apparently, these two brothers were not in the habit of exchanging Christmas presents. Their rivalry did not exist just to business hours. Still another shot from further along the bridge here. And this in front is what remains of Leicester Central Goods Yard today. The third bridge crossed over approximately where that wall is next to the bin there. I don't think any of the brickwork still actually survived for that. Take a peek if you want. This is the second bridge, not the third one, as recognisable by that attractive green and white lattice ironwork you can get a glimpse of through the branches. Someone seems to have lost their trolley fight down there as well at some stage. While the goods yard site might have lost its fight with the developers, there is still a tiny bit left to see. One street and a corner over to our left. It looks like just another mundane Tesco Express store to most of you. But that tower should tell a few tales. It is in fact a former hydraulic pump house belonging to the Leicester Central Goods Yard. The hydraulics themselves were used to power capstans that drove the wagons along on ropes into the sidings. Sadly, just like that one we saw at St Andrew's Dock in Hull, we can't get into the Swan underneath unless we're wanting to buy something that's right inside the door. So I might just go and get a newspaper actually and be crafty. On second thoughts, with that rather unfriendly security guard that approached me as soon as I stepped inside the door, I'll give that idea a heave-ho. And head back beneath the trees beside the beautiful River Soar. Just stepping back to the history again. The Great Central Goods Yard opened with the opening of the through line in 1899. Vic and Frank Berry had the scrap businesses within it. When the Great Central route closed in the 1960s, Vic's site, which was the only one of the two remaining, took over a large portion of the former goods yard site and became the famous Vic Berry scrapyard, which took in those old former diesel, electric and steam trains from 1973 to 1991, when it closed down due to a major fire, and a number of years afterwards gave way to the redevelopment that we've just seen, i.e. those masses of beautiful red brick houses, which I'll try not to call beautiful again. We'll look at it, but they're still just houses in the day, aren't they? People are going to get confused between a YouTube vlogger and a Bird and Matthews impressionist if I keep this up, don't you think? And right now, the River Soar looks, shall I say, beautiful, with that little duck down there. But I'm not planning on having that as my roast dinner yet. Before we resume our route along the Great Central, I've got another old friend we want to look at again as we go past her. And I think that B word is quite an understatement in her case. Yes, it is that immaculate wagon repair shop. We're obviously now occupied by a kitchen studio and a Starbucks, and two of the three businesses that neighbour them. It's obviously its past purpose that serves relevance on this video, and we are reminiscent of that through the remaining red brickwork in both shades, which means obviously red and blue as well. You might remember that I signed off the last part of the journey standing right in front of it, just in front of this Lidl on the right here. That's blasphemous, showing too much of that in a video like this. So here we are, once more quickly, the lovely wagon repair shop of Leicester Great Central. One more time before we leave it behind. Sorry about all the people walking past and towards me. I'll wave the camera around a bit. There we go. The wonders of railway history in Great Britain, greatly summed up in just one building. You probably noticed that the railway appears to be level with the street here. It wasn't always this way. Upperton Road here actually crossed over on a wide viaduct above all the tracks, and is now wonderfully levelled down as of since 2007, with all the remaining track coming out the goods yard ripped away. A cycle path which had existed already by that time was relaid in 2009 to align with the new arrangement. It was already accessible at that stage. This, where we're stepping onto now, is where we're actually on the level route of the former Great Central Railway. I've got to break it to you though, I've been lying slightly, because before we get full steam ahead on the Great Central, we're going to go up part steam to the left towards the Midland very momentarily. So let's step over to the right and enjoy the open sunlight for a moment, shall we? But over to the left, firstly, is the former Great Central engine shed itself, which stored actually a load of ageing railway locomotives, mostly steam, mostly decaying, and it's in the distance through the trees, though we can't see it this time of year because of the overgrowth. Just in front of the Walkers Stadium, which is of course the home of Leicester football team, and the Chris company, obviously a sponsorship due to association with a former England football star who was also part of the city and had a predilection for that make of crisp, as you might very well know. But between that and us, there's also the start of a short branch line which curves up to the Midland mainline route, or say Midland route, not mainline, Midland route between Leicester and Burton-on-Trent. And just behind us somewhere, we can actually make our way onto it. It is hoped. Just through the overgrowth here, looking down to where the Spur junctions onto the Great Central line, or junctions away from it. We'll be walking ahead through this bit though, to meet nearer to the former Midland route. As I make my cautious way through the middle of this unofficial camping village, which seems to have arisen since my last visit, you might notice there's some ballast nestling around the tents. So if whoever's living here doesn't mind me stepping around them a moment. Looking further along the spur here, and you can see the flats behind where the engine shed used to be. You can see how it begins its climb over to the right here. A bit more track bed through the other side, however, by far, and I think we'll have a bumble now we found it. Definitely easy to see the incline. Some dainty steel fence remnants down there. Dainty. Like I said, dating steel fence remnants. Don't know what I find attractive about them that much. Quite march through here for as far as is legal. And looking ahead towards that fence, through which behind is that Leicester to Burton Midland line, which I've been mentioning to you over and over again. As said, single track. I think someone eventually got bored and left his perch. Whirl around, stand back further. Before anyone takes offence, I think it'll be time to turn back. It is of course the Great Central Railway, not the Midland, that we're here to visit today. I hope you enjoyed a little detour there. However, in front, we're about to pass underneath the Midland Road. Just see the bridge emerging to us beneath all these beautiful sunny green trees fluttering away in the wind. Here we go. Now from 1 under to 3 over. Starting with this first one at Marlow Road, which we cross on the level just in front. One of 3 here that have been filled into road level, leaving only the parapet remaining. You can see some marvellous blue brick here once I let all the cyclists go past. Will obviously look more marvellous with no graffiti on it. So, move around the other side. More pleasant that way, isn't it? Onward to the second one. Via a lovely snake in the path. Don't worry, I didn't mean that literally. Although Britain does have snakes. I stepped into the shade again here, guys. But as I'm so far below the sun to not get the glare in my eyes, I might just slowly sidle out of it again once the next cyclist has passed. There. And in front of us now is Evelyn Drive. Again with blue brick. The railway was down on our right here, so we're just off it by a few metres and above it by a few metres while we're at it. I think there's a little bit of a dip through the trees, but I don't think we'll be trying to risk it. And we approach our third erstwhile bridge here at Evesham Road, just bare metres in front. And dance around in the sunlight again for a little bit. And that even applies less even literally. Because I could do without dropping the camera before I finish this wonderful video for all you adoring YouTube fans out there. So, approaching Evesham Road Bridge, or bricks as it is now, and a bit of stone as well. So that chunk's been gone at the corner for quite a while now. I think it's even appearing on Google Earth Street View looking like that. And the site of St Mary's Mills is somewhere adjacent closely, or was, as denoted by that orange sign just behind us. Sorry about more graffiti making this parapet more colourful than it needs to be. Now we have switched sides to the other side of the actual track bed, so we're going to get along this bit this time. Try to imagine a view of a train straight beneath us at this stage. If I was standing actually here 60 or 70 years ago, I've been landing on a track and then underneath one, so underneath a train, I meant. So don't try this, guys, if you've got a time machine. Leaving Evesham Road behind us, it's back out into the wilds and into the wondrous realms of Aylestone Meadows Nature Reserve. This 271 acre beauty spot has been a welcoming home to walkers, picnickers, explorers, hikers and riders for over a century. A protected nature reserve, although not quite yet protected from avid disused rower explorers such as yours truly, but I will be nice to it while I'm passing. The first of two remarkable viaducts, and this is the smaller of them, Aylestone Viaduct. We're approaching and approaching and approaching. Enjoy that blue and whatever else colour brick as it creeps closer. This one crosses over the River Soar, close to the junction with a smaller River Byam. Unusual name to see in Leicester. But then there's a village called Glen Parva that we'll be getting to shortly. An even more unusual name for Leicester, or Leicestershire. We need to have a look down and see what we go over. And over to the other side too. No cheating on this channel, even if it's rivers underneath the railway bridge. And of course, saying it, I think you lovely viewers, I'd do a trip beneath her as well while we're at it. Saying goodbye to Aylestone Viaduct. We're wandering ahead as straight as the line we follow. If I'd been that jogger coming towards me, I've not enjoyed this right now. Running along, not knowing where the very end lies in front. I'd reckon even the train drivers of yesteryear found it a dodgy sight as well, if you couldn't see the signals in front. Especially in all those days before today's modern day coloured signal lights even existed. Still nice to see these sorts of things coming straight at us from the distance. Lovely twin iron deck bridge over Braunstone Lane here. Shining dizzily underneath the sun. It should go on the left side obviously. But I think we'll go over the centre with the camera and savour these lovely rivet lines. 4 rows of them here. That's one hell of a strong bridge for just a country road. And another of these unmistakable lattice bridges lurking right behind it as well. Taking the railway across the canal. Must say, they really love their lattices here in Leicestershire, don't they? You know, I'm rather partial to a spot of lettuce myself, old chap. But I doubt very much I'll be venturing all the way to Leicestershire just for the privilege. Alright. Rather tough this is. I think in future I should opt for Marks and Spencer's. I'm afraid it's actually lattice that I said there, Ronnie. Onward ahead again. Into the searing end of April sunlight of 2026 here in Leicestershire. If you're desperate enough, this is the one we've just gone over. Obviously accessing a further part of the canal and the neighbouring car park as it does. Shortly in front of us now we have the Saw Valley Way, which we're actually going to saw our way right underneath. A little bit reminded of that Morecambe to Lancaster path, remember that one? It's that bridge I went under where I patched a hand-drawn graphic of one of the old trains on the top. Well, a computer-drawn graphic. You know, again, it's approaching near the end of the video where I trip my words more often. And we saw our way straight up and to the top again. I bet you never saw that coming. Finally get a bit of a cutting around us at this point too. Good timing as we're about to leave the path. If you can't quite make sense of the plaque on the right hand one, it's to commemorate the opening of the Glen Parva Nature Reserve in 2010. A natural haven for people and wildlife. We're going to have to go off trackbed now, literally speaking. So say goodbye to it. Now up there on that embankment above us, as we get further down, and go onto the canal for a little while to get to where we will join the line in a short while at our second viaduct of the day. And a short half-mile trip along a canal side. We come back to it again. Yet, as much as we admire these abutments, it's what's just shortly over to our right that matters most. As we'll be just heading up this hill to meet in all her wonderful glory. May just have a quick look back at this former bridge first, over the Leicester Canal. Sorry, we've got the more colourful element again. That bit's not so bad. Well, there's plenty of green in front. But just going ahead for the feature attraction. You won't be able to see much of it from here, but we are on top of the wide and wondrous Whetstone Viaduct. It stands at a length of 456 feet, 13 arches, each 30 feet wide, and built entirely of engineer's blue brick. The lucky party behind its construction are the renowned British civil engineering firm Topham, Jones and Relton. The viaduct, of course, was built as part of the late 1800s Great Central Plan between the North and London. It actually crosses the River Sence, not the River Soar, and also its surrounding floodplains, which will be plain to see in just a moment. With it being a bit windy up here, guys, and a few obstacles to have to avoid tripping over as well, I'm going to have to amble my way back down to the street again. Unfortunately, unlike at Aylestone, we couldn't quite bring you a view of the viaduct from down beneath this time, ladies and gents. However, like most viaducts in this country on a disused line, there was also once a station nearby as well. Whetstone being one such place. Somewhere at the top of these steps and a little way on is the site of the former island platform Great Central Station. As you see from the wide embankment, there are actually more than 2 tracks that went either side of it. The station consisted of a booking office, 2 waiting rooms, toilets, and also a porter's office. So a nice assortment there. Quite typical of most of the small stations on this part of the Great Central Line. There was a signal box approximately at this location over to our right here, where this gate is. Part of the remaining embankment is defined by those steps there, as you can see, and there's houses either side of it. A lot of the rest of it, going southward from here, has been levelled to the next street on ahead. Got this attractive little viaduct here behind us as well. So if you want to make up for not being able to see the Whetstone one from beneath, as I said before, the station at Whetstone had sidings both sides, which, if the width of this tunnel's arch is anything to go by, also went along the top, alongside the passenger lines as well here. Unfortunately, as I stand admiring a final great brick creation along the Great Central for the day, this is also where I have to be pulling into sidings for the night as well. Needless to say, from the comfort here of Leicester Station, the Midland equivalent that is, thanks for watching as always, and if you enjoyed what you saw today, get the old tender loaded with a few more subscriptions, and who knows, the next station that my train will be pulling into could very well be yours. Until then, toodle pipsies. Ta-da! You know, I think we might both enjoy a lovely bit of lattice for our tea. What say you, Dave, old chap? No, it's lettuce tonight, Ronnie. Did you forget I was going to cook?